may find you, as I always say, this is your good friend, guy, fellow constituent, whatever way you want to place me, Dr. Cortez D. Sims. You can find me on www.cortezdsims.com, Facebook, Instagram, and just reach me by email, drcortezsims@gmail.com. I would love to be a person that you can follow up and get some free consultations for as a mental behavior health coach, counselor, and just as a good friend. I just want to thank you guys for sharing this information to all of your circles of friends that I may not ever get a chance to meet, but they can use this information. But guess what? Today is a great day to celebrate life. And today's Thursday Thought, if you could share with anybody immediately, share, send, like, subscribe, YouTube, do whatever you need to do because it's going to be on your pages, not to interrogate your email, but just to remind you that there's something that might be noteworthy to pass on to some other people. But I just want to let you know, give yourself more grace, okay? Give yourself more grace. I titled that. I was just thinking, and I was talking to some people this week, and we were talking about all of the different changes that we go through personally, and we make these great exceptions out of love and support and give people the benefit of the doubt to everyone else, but we don't give it to ourselves. We don't give to ourselves. We lend it. We surrender it. We offer it. We create time and make time for it, but we don't give ourselves more grace. Well, listen, we only have one life to live. And the reality is we don't even know when the day that life is going to transition to death, and we're going to be in a different place. Our bodies are not going to be on this earth walking around. So in the meantime, give yourself more grace. Now, what is grace? Grace is when you're giving someone a pass, you're giving them something that they do not deserve. Okay? But we gave it to them in love anyway. All right? Mercy. Let's talk about mercy, because people confuse mercy and grace. Mercy is when you're not getting what you do deserve, and your time or your extension of love is still applied. All right? But today we're talking about give yourself more grace. You have one life to live. Why are you too busy trying to prove to people that you need to be perfect? Because people put this expectation for you to deliver and need to be excellent because you're known to do it like this. Well, what if I don't? What if I don't want to be a leader today? What if I don't want to be the son or the daughter that you need for me to be in that role or that capacity or in that operation? Okay? And that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. I know all about it because I'm an overachiever. I know all about it because I'm very hard on myself. I know all about it because I had years of beating myself up when I didn't get it right the first time, the second time, the third time. When I didn't make perfect decisions or make popular decisions that everybody would like me or be in support of. But what happened if you're the person that you're around people that are not used to making calculated decisions? Like they really take their time, put things together and go, I don't think that's a good decision for me based upon where I'm going. And be okay with that. Be excited because it's not going to be popular for everybody else to agree. And so give yourself grace that, hey, if I blow it, I blew it. But it's not because I didn't take a calculated risk. Or if I didn't step out on faith to do something different than everybody else in the old same boat that we usually roll your boat down the water or gently down the stream. And I did something different because I want something different. I don't always want the same meal that everybody else want to eat when we go out. I want to try this salad. I want to try dieting and go against what my normal is because I want a different discipline. I want a different outcome. Give yourself some grace, ladies and gentlemen. Another reason that you should give yourself some grace, because you have to make some exceptions. Making an exception means that this is something I want to do different. This is something I want to take a different turn. In my family, I remember my dad was raising us, and he said, "Listen, the best cars to get is Chevrolet. It has to be a GMC Chevrolet." And I realized that in my journey, I was not always afforded to have GMC because when I had people that was led by their own heart, led by their own good gracious, and even just been led by the Lord and say, hey, I want to invest into something that I know you're not really regular with, but it may be against what you're for, but I just want to bless you with something. So if somebody want to bless you with something, and it's their blessings and their obedience that they want to be great, a great giver with, and it goes against what my regular standard is, but it's a great thing, do we make the exception and give grace to ourselves to take something different? Or will we be so honoring and be like, well, I don't want to take that because it goes against the creed and the model that my family have. But what if you're that person that can make these exceptions and it's okay? Whoever told you that you had to have everything all together? Who told you that? That's another one. All decisions may not be favorable. So if your decisions are not favorable to those people, give yourself grace. Hey, I don't want to wear these colors like this. I don't want to always wear jeans all of the time. I wanted to wear a different pair of shorts. This time, it may not look nice that I put on this bathing suit, but I want to see what it feels like to do this because I don't like the way my weight is. People have different positions, different things that they're going through, and you'll be surprised how beautiful it is to break out of these conditions that we have placed ourselves in. If I don't get it right, if I don't get it like this, I'm not going to do it at all. Well, that's very, very hard to put this type of high expectations on yourself, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you another one. Does it always have to make perfect sense in order to move forward? Okay? What if it doesn't make sense, but it may give you a positive outcome? Give yourself some grace. One more. If you want to gain the courage, if you finally gain the courage to begin these new ideas, nobody's around you is talking about it. Nobody around you wants to do something different, but you decide to be that person that do something different, that makes you stand differently. Give yourself some grace. 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 You're doing something that you probably don't think that you deserve. You probably don't think that, or either other people don't even believe that you deserve it. And you go, I'm going to book me a ticket. I'm going to find my lodging space, and I'm going to take myself on a nice vacation. My vacation may even be a turnaround trip. I'm not going to let anybody talk me out of it. So even if they think, well, why would you do that? Why wouldn't I do it? I have one life to live. And if you're looking for it to be the perfect scenario or it's perfectly lined up so you could go with me, I'm going to go without you, and I'll come back telling you about it. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. And I'm saying it to say this may not be something that may not be hitting home for some of you all, but some of you all have been so by the books, so by writing everything down on a sheet of paper. I'm not going against organization at all because I love organization. I'm not going against making sure that you hear from God if you want to go, if you believe in a spiritual factor to be your leading source. Nothing against none of those things. But even sometimes those areas, it's like you don't need to go to these sources for every little thing to make some nice decisions about yourself. There's just a lot of things that you can just do regularly on your own. And it's okay if you say, hey, I usually go to a restaurant to buy food, but I think I could cook that myself. So what if the meal doesn't turn out right if you use the recipe? I tried it. I gave myself grace that maybe I can make some mixed popcorn with caramel and cheese and butter on it. Who said that I can't do it? Nobody tells you that you can't do it to that extreme unless you apply to what they said to you. You can always dispel it. You can always block it. You can even tell yourself, I believe I can do anything I put my mind to because I give myself grace. I give myself grace that if I made the wrong choice on buying this vehicle, okay, I took a position at a job. I took a position. First of all, jobs are not coming that fast like that for everyone under the circumstances and with your resume and your experience. You can have a lot of experience and they still may not pick you. We already know about that. You can look that in my book, Qualified but Not Preferred. And you can be well versed, well qualified, and get all the credentials and still may not get picked. Give yourself grace that it is okay to be that significant person that goes against the grain, that is definitely different from anybody in your family. You're supposed to be the different person. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some love. Give yourself some love to say, hey, I was going very, very well in my diet, and I broke the rules, and I ate some cake. Oh, this looks like I may have to start over. But guess what? You know how it feels to go on a diet. You know how to give yourself forgiveness. Okay? It's something that you give. Forgive. Give yourself more grace. And don't just make it where, oh, I give myself grace, but I'm so hard on myself in this area. And then if you a believer in the Most High, the Creator, He give grace every day. It's brand new every morning. It starts over. It's not something that was on layaway. We're going to take for what was grace yesterday and apply it to today. It's brand new. Even God has made it available for you to give yourself grace to say, what was I thinking? Oh my goodness. And then you'll be able to laugh at it and be like, what space was I in? What space were I in to make that decision? Was I in a place because I wanted to be the savior, to be the super grandfather, super grandmother? Was I in a place that I had to prove a point that I'm here? I told you that I was going to be here. Did I tell you every time you call me, you can depend on me? Well, here's the deal. Most of our behavior in terms of doing things nonverbal is over 46 or 56%. And let's just show them. We don't have to say it. We just appear. We don't have to text them. We just attend. We don't have to even send money or send a Zelle or send a Cash App. They'll see it coming. The person that's more importantly, that is important to impress, is not even God. You don't even have to press God with what you do to give yourself grace. The only way you please Him is faith. And that faith is the faith in Him. And the same faith that's in Him, you apply it to yourself. All right. He put some faith in me that I haven't even realized that I can apply. He put some faith in me that I need to activate, which means to get going. I need to have activity. How would I even know if there's no activity going? And that same word, A-C-T, I need to act like it. It's the same A-C-T that's in the word character, all right? It's all part of who I am. So I need to give myself more grace. No, you probably were not the best mother, the best father. That can change. Well, sir, Dr. Cortez, people won't listen to me anymore. Who are you trying to please? Him? And He helps you with you. And then the better off you are, they benefit from all of the fruit of your labor. Give yourself more grace, ladies and gentlemen. Stop being so hard on yourself. Laugh at everything. Because guess what? When it is time for you to transition to the next place, because you're not going to live here forever, what would the people say about you? You want them to be able to say, that's one thing about her. She kept going. She took a licking and kept on ticking, as they say. She fell off the bike and took the training wheels off a little bit earlier, and she still fell off the bike. What was she thinking? She was teaching herself that I'm going to fall and I can get back up. Okay? Yeah, I've been married 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Do I have a hunger for companionship? Would I take the risk? Yes, I will. Why? Because I love. And I was a different person, and I was probably a different person in these different places because I am able and I am known to evolve. And the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, most people with this subject matter that I'm talking about right now, they would not tell you that they struggle with the same variables in the same area. They have too much pride. We got to talk about that too in one of my other videos. They have too much pride, too much shame, which is probably what they're walking in, to even admit, if I say this, it's going to make me look like this. According to who? We're more so concerned about what we need to look like to people, being concerned, popular opinion, when most people are ignoring anybody that comes across, unless it's drama or pain. Think about that. Unless it's drama or pain, most people don't bring that much attention to you unless it's brought to them. Hey, did you hear about this? No, I wasn't paying attention to the TV today. Hey, have you heard about this? No, I haven't heard about this today. Why? Because everybody's attention is not on you like that. So don't beat yourself and don't treat yourself as if this is the way I need to act. Here it is again. Act accordingly. No, I'm going to give myself more grace. If I need to rest, I'm going to rest. If I need some days off for myself, and I can have a days off to myself, and people, Why you acting shady, making these statements? I'm not acting shady. I decided to take some days off to rest. Because I'm always going. Aren't I always going? And then they say, yeah, you are always going. But it's not until you need to do self-care. It's not until you need to go to urgent care. It's not until you need to go to the hospital or the spiritual hospital, okay, which is the worship place, church, we say, all right, that we need to get it all together because we're so disarrayed, we're so dismantled that we don't have any type of direction. And we should not get to the point that we are sick to get well. We should catch these alarm alerts, catch the symptoms, and be working on it and go, I know what I need. I need to go ahead and find some place where I can decompress. So if you want me to be myself, give me space. If you want me to be myself, let me call you back. If you want me to be myself or you want my opinion on something, give me a couple of days. And watch how people around you become so doggone selfish. I'm going to say doggone. They're going to be so selfish because they want stuff from you now because they're not willing to do whatever it takes, give themselves grace too, to do what it takes to make their own decisions for themselves. They're looking for you to be the supervisor, the CEO, the assistant pastor, the leading sales manager, the big sister, the big uncle, the father, the mother in that moment. And it all equals up to being the ultimate. They want you to be God in the moment so that you could be their Lord, somebody that rules over them, and their Savior, somebody to rescue them, to help them with themselves. How selfish is that? So ladies and gentlemen, on the reverse, within yourself, give yourself more grace. I love you. Have a great, 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 great time. But before I get in this Thursday thought, while you're also giving yourself more grace, do it without arrogance. Okay? There are some people, I told you that you was going to do this. I told you to listen to me. And let's not have an arrogance about that. When you're giving yourself more grace, don't push it into anyone's face about what they should be. And you should respect this and all of those different things. That's not necessary. And that's not healthy. And it's going to bite you later on. Let's have a different position with it. Different demeanor. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this with all loving kindness. That's the approach. I'm going to say this because I think this is the better judgment. I'm going to say this because I think this would be a better way to convey this. Let's not use this way of arrogance. I said what I said, and I meant what I said. Well, everybody's not listening to what you said. And they're trying to figure out what are you saying. That's in communication. I love you guys. Please pass this on to anybody that you know. And just tell them, say, hey, in spite of what you're going through, make sure that you don't beat yourself up. Give yourself more grace. It's okay. It is okay. It's okay. You will get more money back. They're cutting trees all of the time to produce more money. And as you are able to be a person that has a good spirit of being a good steward, then you will be able to manage more money. Money will come again. Relationships will come again. Just apply prayer. I was told from one of my good bishop friends, pastor in Phoenix, Arizona, he will make this statement. He will say, prayer. Prayer is the only thing that is good for everything. I'll leave on that note. Apply prayer. Get some instructions. Take that grace that God has given you. Apply it to yourself in everything you do. And you will have so much peace. And you make these exceptions. Now, I'm not saying I have boundaries. I'm not saying having barriers and things that you need to put in place. I'm not saying not to have wisdom. I'm not saying to not have guard your heart with all diligence. But you're doing all those things that I just mentioned. But you're giving yourself grace in the interim of that. So then you will be able to properly function as a functional human being and not a person that has constant dysfunctional behavior. Okay? Because dysfunctional behavior gets you in these type of positions that you're like, how did I get in there? No, we're going to use wisdom, applied knowledge. Apply that knowledge to that and watch things flow better for you. And then you'll be able to laugh at the end of it. And go, man, I almost talked myself out of all this courage that I never knew I had. All of this faith that was always available for me. All this strength that God gave me because he said that I could do all things. All right? Peace.